Hello, welcome to the next episode of Get Booked. Hey Jen, what are we talking about this week?
We're talking about going to camp because it's summertime.
I love summer camp!
I never really had a great camp experience.
Oh no. That's
not terrible, just not great.
I
do like reading about them in books though.
Was it like Christy's experience in the Babysitter's Club of like, just not when it lived up to the hype for you?
I went to sporty camps, so they were a lot of work. But then I never really went to like a camp that you just had fun with.
Oh, I did. It was great. Where you learn all the things you're not supposed to.
Like the Parent Trap camp.
Yeah, my camp was like the Parent Trap camp. Yeah. So there was practical jokes. I inspired them. I did not actually get in trouble for them because I did not cause them. I just caused inspiration.
Of course you did. What do you got for us?
Sure. So my first book is a middle grade. It's by Lisa Jen Bigelow. It's called Drumroll Please. So in this, two best friends are in band, and one of them finds out about a girls' rock camp. And so she ropes her other friend into it. So Melissa joins the school band because of her best friend Olivia. And Olivia's like, we gotta go to this camp. It's gonna be really great. And Melissa's like, okay. And so she goes, and then she meets this really cool girl. Like, really, really cool girl, whose name is Adeline? Yes? Yeah, Adeline. Like, she's super cool. She's the cool girl, like, you want to be her, like, there's a line in the Bikini Kill song, Rebel Girl, I want to be your best friend. Like, she wants to be Adeline's best friend, but maybe she wants to be more than Adeline's best friend. But she realizes when all the girls are talking about boys before they go to sleep in their cabins, and she's like, oh, I can't talk about this. So, it's like, you know, first summer crush at band camp. But not like regular band camp. Girls rock band camp.
Nice.
Yep.
I've got the classic Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. This one is a larger book because well, that one page didn't have anything. There's some illustrations. Oh, look. That looks like Camp Half-Blood. So if you don't know, Percy Jackson thinks he's a normal, average kid, realizes that crazy things happen to him all the time, realizes that he's a demigod, gets sent to Camp Half-Blood, which is a camp for offspring of the Greek gods, and has to deal with lots of drama there. So
much drama.
Yes. 5-book series, all finished. Lightning Thief is awesome.
Yes. Although I never could find, I wish they had like really good merch for the t-shirts, because I feel like you can never find great Camp Half-Blood shirts, and like they're really cool.
I have the original Camp Half-Blood shirt, signed by Rick Riordan.
Yes.
He's very nice, by the way.
But I'm not you, so I don't have that. That's not a thing I want to wear at the library during summer reading and be like, hey, it's my cool book shirt. Nope, can't do that. So, my next book is a graphic novel. It's a middle grade graphic novel called As the Crow Flies. This is by Melanie Gilman. So Charlie is 13 years old, and she is queer, black, and questioning whether or not she believes in God. Like, she's trying to figure out, like, she's like this whole, like, I think I'm gay, like, is God okay with this? And then also, she's the only black kid at camp, which is a little frustrating for her. She's like, oh, great. And it's an all-girls camp, and part of the experience with this camp is that you are on a giant backpacking trip for, like, a full week or two. And so it's her trying to figure out who she is. It's one of those like self-identity books, but also making friends, and like, you know, there's some kids she's like, rah, and some of them come around, some of them are like, no, they're jerks.
So here's my question.
Yes.
Do they like camp in the woods? Like, yeah. Are there bathrooms?
No.
Do they talk about that?
It's just part of like.
They gloss over it. Okay.
I feel like they gloss over it. I'm sure there's comments about it, like. One of the horrible things is, like, she gets her period, like, on the first or second day, which is, like...
As you do.
I know, but also think about it, like, you're in middle school, and you go to summer camp, in sleepaway outside hiking camp, and you're that's just, like, already, like, oh, God, the stress. So, yeah, but it's a cool story. I really liked it. Yeah, that's one of my other picks. What do you got?
Cool. I have another classic, YA one this time, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. If you don't know the story, 4 best friends are splitting apart for the first time over the summer, and one of them goes off to soccer camp, and I'm blanking on their names right now, which is terrible. Anyways, they go shopping right before, and they find a magical pair of pants jeans that fits all of them, which is funny because they're all very differently shaped ladies. And the pants travel back and forth with them throughout the summer, and letters as well. So lots of drama. You don't get as much camp, but it is kind of like a little bit of camp. So soccer camp, Greece, soccer camp, one of the girls stays home, and one of the girls goes to her dad's house, and he is in the process of getting remarried, and she's trying to find herself in that new family. So a classic YA. Also, if you haven't seen it, there's a movie.
Yes.
And there's 4 of these books. 5 of these books. There's now 5.
There's more than 3. We will hold to more than 3.
But there's only 2 movies.
Yes.
So
So my next book in our summer camp theme is actually called Camp. It's by Elsie Rosen. So this book is really sweet and really cool, and I like it. It's funny too. So in it, 16-year-old Randy loves going to his summer camp. He's a queer kid going to a queer summer camp called Camp Outland, and he loves it. It's like the one time of the year he can just completely let everything go and be himself. I mean, that's the cool thing about summer camp, is that often you get to be somebody you aren't during the school year, because the bullies don't go to get with you at camp. Like,
we'll get to that in a little bit.
okay, well, my bullies didn't. I got to be like my authentic self when I was at camp. Whereas the rest of the school year, it was just like, I'll just hide behind this book in the school library and wait for the bell to ring. So with this book, like, Randy is like super into this other kid whose name is Hudson. But like Hudson is like a masculine gay guy, and like Randy's not. He's more of a femme. And Hudson always seems to go for like more like sporty, rugged guys, and Randy's like, oh, I don't have a shot, or do I? So it's kind of a cool book too, because it talks about different like gender norms and like breaking them a little bit. So I also appreciate that. Also, it's just really funny and sweet. Who doesn't love a nice sweet camp story that's fun?
That was fun. Alright, I've got one of my favorite graphic novels series, Camp Babymouse. If you don't know Babymouse, she's awesome. I like it because the art is usually black and white with a little bit of pink. And she's got lots of funny friends. There is the mean girl who is the cat. But she is just very kind of sarcastic and sweet, and of course things are going to happen that maybe wouldn't happen to normal people. So, Camp Babymouse, yay! She's fun. Cool. There's a whole series of that. There's like 20 books in that series.
Yes, for
all
kids.
All of them are out.
For like more of the elementary set, right?
Yes, but as we were just talking, there is also a set of books where Babymouse is in middle grade, and they're not graphic novels, although there is a little bit of that thrown in there. But those are upstairs in our tween section.
Cool. This next one is a favorite graphic of mine. It is a graphic memoir by Maggie Thrash. It's called Honor Girl. It is based on her real life experience at summer camp when she was about 15 or 16. And she's gone to this like over 100-year-old camp like her whole childhood. And it's the kind of camp where you're out in the woods, but you have like the platform and then like the canvas tent over it. And she's in like a new cabin with new girls and whatnot. And there's some people that she's known for years, and it's like the whole thing of like, you know, it's your teen years. Some people aren't as cool as they were because they're kind of jerks now. There's a little bit of that, and also she gets a massive crush on one of her camp counselors, and like, how does she deal with that? So it's a very much a coming of age story, and it's just like a really good summer read. I really enjoyed it. What do you got?
Nice. I've got Sleepaway Girls by Jen Catalina. She also has, there's a companion to this that's also out, which we also have upstairs in our teen section. So this is a teen book. Sam, best friend, gets a boyfriend right before summer, and she's like, oh crap, I do not want to be the third wheel all summer long. That sounds god-awful. So she applies to be a counselor in training at this camp, but she's not really a nature girl at all. And she's never really been a camp counselor or just not a lot of experience with any of that. So she goes there and she realizes that there are these girls who have been going their entire lives. So she feels a little bit outside, and there are some girls, Ashley, who, surprise,
It's always Ashley's.
it's always Ashley's, who are not the nicest to her, and so she's kind of struggling trying to find her way in this camp, and then also have a good summer, and, you know, make sure her kids have a good time. And there may not be a little flirtation. Surprise!
So my last summer camp pick is a little offbeat, but not if you know me, but you don't know me, so it's fine. I like horror movies. So I actually went upstairs and picked Friday the 13th, the ultimate summer camp slasher film.
I don't watch horror movies because I don't sleep for a month, so.
It's a classic. So Camp Crystal Lake has been shut down for years because a kid named Jason Voorhees drowned in the lake. Dun, dun, dun. And so they're opening up the camp again, and the kids aren't there yet. So it's just all the counselors. And a very young, pre-Footloose Kevin Bacon is in this movie. And people just get mysteriously murdered. But I mean, you know, this movie was shot in 1979, 1980. So there's no cell phones. There's barely phones at this camp. So that's also problematic. There's a slasher on the loose. So yeah, so it's a great horror flick. If you haven't seen it, I won't spoil the ending because the ending's pretty great. But yeah, it's just a fun. If you like horror, it's a fun movie. If you don't like horror, don't watch this. Don't do it.
I won't. Alright, my last book is Just a Boy and a Girl in a Little Canoe, which I didn't realize, but that's apparently a song you sing a lot at the campfires.
It is? I never sang that. Although that has an excellent cover.
Right? So this is also about a girl who needs a summer job, and it's kind of a theme, I guess. Goes to this camp. Her boyfriend is traveling around Europe for the summer, and she's just like, oh, that's terrible. I don't know what we're going to do while we're apart. She is in between her freshman and sophomore years at college, so she's kind of used to being on her own, and she gets put in the cabins with, I want to say they're really young, and they're not really sure, oh, I forgot that detail, they're not really, she has some kind of struggling campers that she has to help out. I forgot, she actually had gone to this camp, but one of the girls was so super mean to her that she was like, I'm never, ever going back. And she runs up into her, like, the counselor she had when she was a kid, and she was like, oh, there's openings if you want a job. And so that's kind of how she gets roped back into it. But also that girl is back at camp, and so her former 11-year-old self is like trying to reconcile her feelings for this camp and feelings for this girl who she absolutely hates and has no idea why this girl was so horrifically mean to her. And of course there's romance and drama and camp activities, which sounded really fun. The camp schedule is in there, and I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. I want to go to the arts and crafts table, and I want to go swimming, and I want to go do all these things. So.
I feel bad that you never actually got the full camp experience.
Yeah, I was more interested in the basketball camp, which was, like, they were good camps. I don't mean that. I just mean, like, you know.
Well, there's different. So, like, sports camps are totally different, though, from, like, summer camp.
They are.
Because then, like, you're with kids you've never met before, you probably don't go to school with. There's usually an arts and activity, like, hut. We had barn dances. We had creek hikes. Because the creek went to a waterfall, and you could swim in the waterfall.
Right. See, that sounds fun.
There was, like, camp out nights in the meadow with, like, you know, scary stories. So.
Okay, that part I would not have liked, but, you know.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Well, my brother and I are blamed for being the reason why you can't tell horror stories anymore. He was a counselor there. And there was a story called Big Red, and, like, my dad was 6'7" and a half with, like, flaming red hair and a red beard, so he looked like a lumberjack, and not like the librarian he was. And so my brother had him come up one night, and I think it was my last week there, and so, like, yeah, we had Dad, like, run. I kind of knew about it, but I kind of didn't know about it. I kept my mouth shut. So my dad, like, runs out of, like, the trees, and he's, like, got an axe, and he'd been, like, chopping in the background, because he could hear my brother telling the story, and, like, scared a lot of kids. But then, like, my dad, like, hung out with us and had s'mores and stuff, and so everyone realized, oh, he's not a big scary monster. He's just a mild-mannered librarian. He's very tall.
Horrified. I would have been horrified.
He dressed the part too, because it's like George's summer, so it's like 90 degrees, and he's wearing like a plaid flannel, like long sleeve shirt and like jeans and stuff, and like I don't forget his duck boots on, but like the big like hunting one he was on, rawr! So scary.
Scary beyond all reason.
Right? So that's summer camp with Mary and Jen. Who knows what we'll talk about next week?
Stay tuned.
All right, bye.